Now, the new movie about the life of music icon Whitney Houston is getting some rave reviews. The film, called I Want to Dance with Somebody, shows Whitney at both the height of her fame and during some of her more troubled times. It is, it's goosebumps.
I'm a Whitney fan. So.
Yeah, well, you saw the movie.
Yeah, I saw the movie. I cried and I laughed and I sang. It was everything. It was beautiful.
Really, in the cinema. I bet the other people loved it.
Not so loud, just like to myself, internalised.
Internalising it. The movie is, of course, about Whitney, and you see her struggling just to juggle everything, trying to be a good mother, a performer, a wife, and essentially just heading towards a burnout, which sadly we all know what happened there. And I'm guessing, Denise, this is going to relate to an awful lot of people, and particularly at this time of year. I think Christmas can be very stressful for people. There's lots of potentially weeks, months of planning for this one big day and trying to keep all the family happy. And come January, it's grey, it's a bit miserable, and it's like, and that burnout can kick in really quickly.
I think so. And I think, nobody should judge anybody on what their burnout or what their reason is. I think sometimes a lot of people look at, say, us and think, what could they be depressed about? I've had that all my life with depression, or what could... But I find that with myself, it's sometimes the minutiae of life. So it's not a big thing. It can be the minutiae of life, trying to juggle everything, deal with everybody. Sometimes it's called something called compassion fatigue, which is caring about too many people that don't really mean that much to you sometimes, and being a people pleaser. And that's what I find that I struggle saying no, so I'm a people pleaser. And the other night, and again, people might say, oh, God, that's a first world problem. But we were talking about Matty with the band, and obviously everybody wants to be on the guest list, and people I haven't heard from for 100 years suddenly want to bring their cousins, aunties thing and do this and do that. And so I kind of have to do a WhatsApp group and say, I might be able to do that, but I can't tell you where to park, where to, what time we're going to get there, all of these things. And I think on top of Christmas and Lincoln's birthday and just the organisation, I just got like this burnout. And the night before last, and I haven't had this for 3 years, I had a panic attack. And I'm all right. Thank you for your but I'm all right today. I took everything out my diary yesterday, but I really felt the old symptoms again. And I thought saying this to people is going to sound so ridiculous. Oh, it was a guest list of but it was just... Do you know what I mean? When you get that burnout, and it can just be something. And I just felt completely overwhelmed. Yeah. That was the thing. It was overwhelmed and tired. And fatigue. Like all I've wanted to do, and I've realised this for a few weeks now, is every time I wake up in the morning, I just want to go back to bed. So I've got like a feeling of fatigue, and I think it's just...
The weather doesn't help.
The weather doesn't help. It's just a build. I do have a bit of that SAD as well, so I think it's all... but it's... it's good to talk about it, because I think a lot of people do feel the same.
Well, and like I say, over Christmas, that sort of family burnout thing where you do your very best to try and keep everybody else happy, and you want this perfect kind of festive period. How do you handle that, Brenda? Because you actually are...
It's interesting, because Denise saying that she finds it hard to say no. The perfect person that I know that always found it hard to say no and didn't really say no was my son, Jamal. Yeah. I, however, am quite opposite to that, because I've had the experience of having the pressure. For example, the one example that I can give of recent was his homegoing service, and it's like there was so much to sort out, but there was only space for a certain amount of people. I've got my family, who are massive. My family's big. There's friends. There's Jamal's friends. It's remembering and thinking, who do you invite? And I don't suffer from anxiety or stress, but that was the one time that I was like, I can't help everybody.
It stops you functioning.
Give everybody all of that.
With grief as well.
Well, yeah, but and then it's like I sent out an invite, and then it's like I have to preempt by saying, please don't ask me anything else, because I haven't got any other information to tell you. When I get the information, I'll tell you. If I don't tell you, it's because I ain't got the information. And I'm that kind of person, and all my close friends and my family, they know me well enough to know, yeah, let's not push that and ask her anything else.
So you deal with the stresses, though, by preempting problems before they even happen. So you're dealing with stuff before.
Yeah, before. So, but if I tell everybody, don't, then they usually
I think
don't.
the wonderful thing about you is that, you know, nobody can dispute that you've had the most horrendous year with losing your wonderful son. But what you don't do, Brenda, is you don't judge anybody else for what their stress levels might be. Do you know what I mean?
Not.
Even though you've been through
Everybody's
the
got
worst
to
year of
handle it in
anybody.
their own way. That's just what works for
I think
me.
all that aside, I think our generation, a lot of the people watching the show, we are what they call the sandwich generation, and we have maybe, you know, elderly parents that have needs, and we've got children that have needs, and we've got partners that have needs, and we're sort of in the middle of it, and not always, but more often than not, the woman is the linchpin of a family, the person that sort of is there in the middle holding everything together. And, you know, we do our best, but sometimes it just gets too much.
Yeah.
Just gets too much.
Yeah.
And, you know, talking about Whitney, I know, again, people might go, oh, she's a multimillionaire, da-da-da-da, but it doesn't stop you having very ordinary and normal feelings.
Imagine
and
the
also
demands on her on a daily
She was
basis.
probably paying for everybody as well,
That's
you
it,
know,
and
so...
everyone's-
Well, you could see, you know, not spoiler alert, but you could see from the early on the pressure that her mother was pushing her to succeed, and she wanted her to succeed. And the first opening, it was, and you're going to make the money for us.
Yeah.
It was that, and that's a lot of pressure to live with.
Of course
Yeah.
it is, because you're wanting them to have a nice life and everything else. My thing recently is I can't deal with questions. People love asking me questions.
What do you mean?
Just like exactly that. Because a question always involves an answer that I probably maybe have to try and deal with.
Yeah, you've got to start preempting, baby girl.
I know, how do you do that?
No, just say no.
Yeah,
See, there you go, I'm back to square one again because I can't say no. That gives me anxiety and I'm in a vicious circle.
I'm very good. I've always been really good at saying no. I mean, I'll say yes if I can do something, but I'm very clear. I will say, no, I can't do that, and this is why.
And then
We've
if it
got to learn
changes,
that,
then it's good.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Nobody's disappointed.
And it's the most wonderful word because it just lifts a weight.
Okay. No, it is. That's my New Year's resolution. I keep getting asked if you have any New Year's resolution, and I always say no, ironically, and here we are. No is the answer.